I'm always delighted to be with Saul News, who's been such a leader in the conservative movement and the Republican Party.
Welcome to the Saul's Newsstand News Rewind for January 14th, 2022. Fox Business reports, inflation surges 7% in December, highest rate in 40 years. Inflation rose at the fastest pace in nearly 4 decades in December, as rapid price gains fueled consumer fears about the economy and sent President Biden's approval rating tumbling. The Consumer Price Index rose 7% in December from a year ago, according to a new Labor Department report released on Wednesday, marking the fastest increase since June of 1982, when inflation hit 7.1%. The CPI, which measures a bevy of goods ranging from gasoline and healthcare to groceries and rents, jumped 0.5% in the one-month period from November. The inflation spike has been bad news for President Biden, who has seen his approval rating plunge as consumer prices rose. The White House has blamed the price spike on supply chain bottlenecks and other pandemic-induced disruptions in the economy, while Republicans have pinned it on the president's massive spending agenda. An article from townhall.com states, Tom Cotton's brilliant speech defending filibuster was written by Chuck Schumer. Senator Tom Cotton on Wednesday delivered a brilliant speech defending the filibuster as Democrats plot to change Senate rules to pass voting legislation. What made his remarks so powerful? He used the top Democrats' own words. In fact, the Arkansas Republican's entire speech was a reading of Schumer's previous remarks in which he said changing Senate rules would be a, quote, doomsday for democracy. Democrats have long criticized the idea of getting rid of the filibuster.
They want to make this country into a banana republic, where if you don't get your way, you change the rules.
The legislative filibuster should stay there, and I will personally resist efforts to get rid of it.
I'm committed to never voting to change the legislative filibuster.
That would be the end of the Senate.
It raises problems that are more damaging than the problems that exist.
You cannot change the rules in the middle of the game because you do not like the outcome.
You're going to throw the entire Congress into chaos and nothing will get done.
Change the rules in midstream to wash away 200 years of history.
Nothing at all will get done.
I don't think we ought to be coming in willy-nilly and changing the rules.
You can't change the rules in the middle of the game.
Ideologues in the Senate want to turn what the Founding Fathers called the cooling saucer of democracy into the rubber stamp of dictatorship.
If you don't have 60 votes yet, it just means you haven't done enough advocacy and you need to work a lot harder.
Is ultimately an example of the arrogance of power.
Partisan power grab that will stomp on the rights of the minority and leave Congress fundamentally changed for the worse.
Preserve checks and balances so that no one party can do whatever it wants.
It'll be a doomsday for democracy.
The one most important rule that requires compromise, requires working across the aisle.
It is a fundamental power grab.
Will not stand by when a party drunk with power tries to overturn 200 years of precedent.
Ending the filibuster is a very dangerous thing to do.
Senator Cotton concluded his speech by saying, Senator Schumer spoke so eloquently in defense of the Senate rules, customs, and traditions when the fortunes of his party looked a little different. And finally, the Washington Examiner reports, Democratic operatives say Hillary Clinton is best option for party to win 2024 election. 2 Democratic operatives see an opening for Hillary Clinton to run again for president in 2024. A commentary article published in the Wall Street Journal on Tuesday makes the case that a perfect storm is brewing in the Democratic Party, including low approval numbers for President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, as well as questions about whether Biden, now 79, will be viable to run for a second term. The op-ed noted that Clinton has been offering advice to fellow Democrats about how to win elections at a time when the party is expected to lose control of one, if not both, chambers of Congress in the 2022 midterm elections. The opinion piece concluded by saying, quote, if Democrats want a fighting chance at winning the presidency in 2024, Mrs. Clinton is likely their best option. We'll let Senator Marco Rubio have the last word.
Almost everyone would tell you that what happened on January 6th here was a terrible thing. It should never have happened, and it should never happen again. But I don't care how many candlelight vigils and musical performances you have from the cast of Hamilton. You're not going to convince at least most normal and sane people that our government last year was almost overthrown by a guy wearing a Viking hat and Speedos.
And that concludes your Saul's Newsstand News Rewind for January 14th, 2022. For more political news faster, visit saulsnews.com.